ready to show you my completed holiday album. It's taken a bit longer than I thought, not because it was a slow process, it was actually very quick, but just, as you know, life sometimes gets in the road. I was away, I had a bit of extra work. It really only took me a few chunks of time to get done what I did. So I'd already showed you, I did like a production line process of just getting the photos and the bulk of paper in place. So my next production line process was I got all my titles cut out and my silhouette. And if you do own a silhouette or a similar machine, my tip for you is keep your titles on the backing sheet, on the cutting mat, so that you don't lose them. I've tried a few different methods in the past of keeping my titles together, and you guarantee you lose your dots from your eyes if nothing else. So I cut them and then I just pull them off as I need them. The other thing that I did was I finished all my tags. So I set the eyelets, I put in the thread, and I did all my journaling, so that when my last production line of just going through and putting the journaling and embellishment and sticking down the title was actually really quick. So I'll just give you a quick flick through now, and I've got the very last page to finish, and you'll see just how quick it is. So you can see how, because I'm using the same embellishments and the same titling all the way through, that it really does have a nice continuity and a nice flow. Now if I was playing use it or lose it, I've got to say, if I never use eyelets for anything other than setting tag holes, I'm going to keep them for that process. I did make a little bit of a dent in my eyelet in a few colours. I certainly haven't run out of anything. Would I buy any more? Probably not, but I'm certainly going to keep them and use them for that, if nothing else. I did finish, actually I'll show you, I did finish a roll of washi tape. That was the, if I can see it, where is it? There, the green, this green one. I do have one other roll of a similar shade of green, so I'm not in a hurry to repurchase, but it certainly is a colour that I like, and that was a washi that I liked, so I may repurchase another roll of that colour at some point. These two were from one of those packs and probably had less on them there. I've certainly made a big dent in those two as well. In terms of the baker's twine, I finished up that green one, but I think I've got, in two other lots of packaging, I've got green baker's twine, so I certainly won't be repurchasing that. That is all I've got left of red baker's twine. It probably came on something like that as well, and it's such a staple colour. I may repurchase that at some point, but I'm certainly not in any hurry to do so. I think that's all I wanted to tell you about there. I've certainly made a big dent in that one sheet of cameras. There's not a lot left of those. In terms of the flowers, I'm quite happy with how they've kind of worked, just nestled in among my embellishment clusters. So I certainly won't be in any hurry to repurchase flowers, but I am a bit more confident that I'll be able to keep using them in the future. And again, these word strips, they're still quite, actually here they are. There's still quite a bit there, but I've certainly made a dent in that, and that was a very, cost-effective way of just getting a little bit of extra into my embellishment. It was all very cost-effective actually. Probably one sheet, maybe two sheets worth of craft tags, one sheet worth of cameras, half a sheet worth of these, and the gold, that was less than, probably maybe a quarter of a sheet of gold good cardstock top. So it's certainly, and then of course just some flowers that I've had lying around for a long time. So it's certainly a very cost-effective way of getting a whole album done. Okay, so I've only got the very last page to finish. This is just the page about a sleeving. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on super fast forward and show you just how hard, how quick it is to get something like this finished when you've got it all there and you know what you're doing. Okay, so at this point that cluster of papers hasn't been stuck down yet. So as you can see now, I've had a bit of a think about where I want to place it, and I'm putting it down. And my next step is going to be to put my title down. Now this is obviously the most time consuming part of this last process. It is a fairly long title. Obviously a shorter title won't take quite so long. I don't mind the fact that it takes a little bit of time to glue down my letters, just because it is so much more cost effective than any sort of thickers or whatever. Speaking of thickers, the other thing I could have done if I thought of it in time, and I have done in the past, is you can get Silhouette brand chipboard. That's the word, Silhouette brand chipboard, and cut out the exact same cuts with that and layer it up, or you can also just layer up a couple of layers, 2 or 3 layers of cardstock, and that just does give you a bit more of a thicker feel to your titles, gives them a bit more presence. It would obviously have taken me a lot longer in this case. So you can see by this time I've pretty much got my process in terms of the order of laying the embellishments out is pretty well fine-tuned. So what I'm thinking about is at this point is, do I need to kind of nestle my tags around the title like I'm doing there? I'm obviously trying to avoid getting anything overlapping the important parts of the photo, so I was a bit unsure about putting that tag next to the title there because of where my daughter's face is, but in the end I was happy with how that turned out. I've nestled the tags with the journaling. I was able to nestle the little cameras and the little word strips around, either at the bottom of the journaling tag or just to sort of fill in any gaps and make it feel like it all sits together really nicely. And after that, it was a matter of just working out where to put those flowers, which I'm just gluing down with that glue. And yeah, they're being stuck in as well. Next, I'm getting my little gold bits, and again I'm seeing if there's any spots where they need to be nestled in around, maybe there's a bit of a gap on the tag or things like that. So in some pages they're quite spread out, making a bigger cluster. In this case they're a little bit more tightly kind of clustered and overlapping with the other elements, and you can see how quick it was just to choose where my little dots go. Well, thanks guys so much for watching, and I will catch you all really soon in the next challenge.